Hello everyone. Today we are going to analyze this frame using stiffness matrix method. Before analyzing, let us see the frame one time. In this frame, there are two columns, column AB and column CD. Also, there is a beam BC. In the columns, there are no loads. In the beam BC, there is uniformly distributed load 9 kN per meter. It is acting for the full span. The height of the columns is 4 meter. Length of the beam is also 4 meter. This frame is a non-sway type frame because we have symmetrical loading and symmetrical dimensions. Now let us find the fixed end moments. In the columns AB and CD, there are no loads. So the fixed end moments M of AB, M of BA, M of CD and M of DC are 0. Now let us find the fixed end moments in the beam BC. In the beam BC, there is UDL 9 kN per meter. It is acting for the full span. The formulas for the fixed end moments are minus WL square upon 12 and positive WL square upon 12. Here W is 9, L is 4. When we apply the values inside the formulas, we are getting M of BC and M of CB. Now let us find the kinematic indeterminacy of the frame. We know that this is a non-sway type frame. In this frame, in the joint B, we have the slope theta B, and in the joint C, we have the slope theta C. So the kinematic indeterminacy of the frame is true. Now let us make the fully restrained structure. For that, we have to provide fixed supports in the joints B and C. Now let us make the coordinates diagram. In this analysis, there are two coordinates. They are in the points B and C. Because in these points only we have slope, the coordinates should be made in the clockwise direction. Let us see the formula to find the slope values. Delta matrix is equal to K matrix inverse into P matrix minus PL matrix. Inside the delta matrix, we will have theta B and theta C. In this formula, now let us find the P matrix. In the P matrix, to find P1, we have to look at the first coordinate. If there is any movement, our first coordinate is in the point B. In the point B, there is no movement. So P1 is equal to 0. To find P2, we have to look at the second coordinate. If there is any movement, our second coordinate is in the point C. In the point C, there is no movement. So P2 is equal to 0. In this formula, now let us find the PL matrix. In the PL matrix, first let us find P1L. Our first coordinate is in the point B. In the point B, we have found two fixed end moments, M of BA and M of BC. We have to add both of them. After adding, we are getting minus 12. Now let us find P2L. Our second coordinate is in the point C. In the point C, we have calculated two fixed end moments, M of CB and M of CD. We have to add both of them. After adding, we are getting 12. In this formula, now we are going to find the stiffness matrix. Now let us see how to calculate the stiffness matrix elements. For that, first we have to apply unit displacement, that is theta is equal to 1 radian in every coordinate. Then we can use the formulas. If the fair end is fixed, the formula is 4EI upon L. If the fair end is hinged, the formula is 2EI upon L. In the stiffness matrix, now let us find the first row. For that, we have to apply unit displacement in the first coordinate. Our first coordinate is in the point B. So, in the point B, we have to apply unit displacement. In the point B, there was a fixed support, but when we apply unit displacement, let us assume that it becomes a hinged support. Let us see how to draw these curves. We are applying unit displacement in the point B. From the point B, make two clockwise curves, one curve towards the point C and one curve towards the point A, and then see the direction of the arrows and draw the curves. Now let us find K11. For that, from the point B, we have to look other ends. In the end A, there is a fixed support. If the fair end is fixed, the formula for the stiffness is 4EI upon L. Length of BA is 4. Let us apply that. Now let us look other end C. In the end C also, there is a fixed support. So we have to apply the same formula 4EI upon L. Length of BC is 4. Let us apply that. For K11, we have to add these two values. After adding, we are getting this. Now let us find K12. For that, from the point C, we have to look other ends. No need to look the end D, because for the column CD, there is no curve. So we have to look only the end B. In the end B, there is a hinged support. If the fair end is hinged, the formula for the stiffness is 2EI upon L. Length of CB is 4. Let us apply that. Finally, for K12, we are getting 0.5 EI. In the stiffness matrix, now let us find the second row. For that, we have to apply unit displacement in the second coordinate. Our second coordinate is in the point C. So we have to apply unit displacement in the point C. In the point C, there was a fixed support, but when we apply unit displacement, we can assume that it becomes a hinged support. Let us see how to draw these curves. We are applying unit displacement in the point C. So from the point C, make two clockwise curves, one curve towards the point B and one curve towards the point D. Then we have to see the direction of the arrows and draw these curves. Let us find K21. For that, from the point B, we have to look other ends. No need to look at the end A, because for the column BA, there is no curve. Let us look the other end C. In the point C, there is a hinged support. If the fair end is hinged, the formula is 2EI upon L. Length of BC is 4. Finally, for K21, we are getting 0.5 EI. Now, let us find K22. For that, from the point C, we have to look other ends. In the end B, there is a fixed support. In the other end D also, there is a fixed support. If the fair end is fixed, the formula is 4EI upon L. Length of CB is 4. Length of CD is also 4. Let us apply them. Finally, for K22, we are getting 2EI. In the stiffness matrix, we have found both of the rows. Let us apply the values. EI is constant. Let us keep it outside. In this formula, we have found everything. Let us apply them. We can add these two matrices. After adding, we are getting this. EI inverse is 1 upon EI. For this matrix, we have to find the inverse. We can apply all of the values in the calculator and get the inverse. If you do not know how to find the inverse in the calculator, see the description below. There is a link. You can click the link and watch the video. I have used the calculator and got the inverse. After multiplying these two matrices, we are getting theta B and theta C. Now let us make the slope deflection equations and apply the values of theta B and theta C and get the final moments. First, let us make the slope deflection equations in the column AB. In the equations, let us apply the fixed end moments which are 0. Let us apply length of AB 4. In the point A, there is a fixed support. In the fixed support, there will be no slope. So theta A is 0. After applying the value of theta B, we are getting MAB and MBA. Now let us make the slope deflection equations in the beam BC. In the equations, first let us apply the fixed end moments. Length of BC is 4. Let us apply that. After applying the values of theta B and theta C, we are getting MBC and MCB. Now let us make the slope deflection equations in the column CD. In the equations, first let us apply the fixed end moments which are 0. Length of CD is 4. Let us apply that. In the point D, there is a fixed support. In the fixed support, there will be no slope. So theta D is 0. After applying the value of theta C, we are getting MCD and MDC. For MAB, we have got a positive value. That means it is acting in the clockwise direction. For MBA also, we have got a positive value. That means it is also acting in the clockwise direction. For MBC, we have got a negative value. That means it is acting in the anti-clockwise direction. For MCB, we have got a positive value. That means it is acting in the clockwise direction. For MCD, we have got a negative value. That means it is acting in the anti-clockwise direction. Finally, for MDC, we have got a negative value. That means it is acting in the anti-clockwise direction. Now let us find the reactions. First, let us find them in the column AB. When we take moment about B, we will get HA. By applying this rule, we will get HB. Now let us find the reactions in the beam BC. Since it is having the symmetrical loading, we can easily find VB and VC. For that, we have to multiply the UDL with the distance and then divide by 2. When we do that, we are getting VB and VC. Now let us find the reactions in the column CD. When we take moment about D, we will get HC. By applying this rule, we will get HD. Using the loads and reactions, we can draw the shear force diagram. Using this formula, we can draw the free movement diagram. Using the direction of the movements, we can draw the end movement diagram. Then we can combine both of them so that we will get the bending moment diagram.